welcome back. It is Freestyle Friday, and today we are wrapping up what has turned into a three-part series on MLA proper citation formatting. Today's video is going to be much shorter than last week's. We're going to get right to it, and there's a free handout. So if you want to print off a copy and use it as a writer's reference, or if you're a teacher and you want to turn it into a bulletin board, I am cool with that. All right, let's go. All right, everyone, this is what the first page of your essay packet should look like if you're following the MLA submission format. So we're going to dive in and show you the bits and pieces of what this looks like. All right, last week when I was talking about Works Cited, I mentioned that you'll have your last name a ½ inch down and the page number, and you're going to put that little header right as I've located it here, a ½ inch down from the top of the paper and 1 inch over. That's going to be your right margin, the 1 inch all the way down. You'll have your last name and the page number all throughout, including on the Works Cited page, which is what we talked about in last week's video. If you missed that one, the link is down below, so you can go back and recreate the magic. So even on page 1, even though your name is also over on the left-hand side, you're still going to put it in the upper right-hand corner of the margin there. All right, this is the official heading. It's going to have your name, it's going to have the teacher's name, the name of the course, and then the date. And the MLA folks are a little persnickety. They say it should be the number of the day, the month, and the year. So you're going to make it look like that. And notice that the heading is double spaced. In fact, everything on this page is double spaced. So just type it all out and then just run a double space before you are ready to turn it in. All right, titles are super important. You want to have your title and it's going to be centered. I have mine, Navigating the Academic Labyrinth. And if you want to hit pause, you can read my little paper here, my little advice to you. Notice that the title here, it's not bold, it's not italicized, it's not underlined, it's not put in quote marks. It's simply capitalized and just placed in the flow. There are no extra spaces. Sometimes my kids want to like extend the look of the paper, and they think by like increasing the number of spaces between the date and the title, or between the title and the start of the essay, that they're like fooling me into thinking that they wrote a paper that's longer than it actually is. No, I know it's not. And it's against submission format. So you just want to like type the header, type the title, center it, type your paper, and then double space the whole thing. Just let it lie. The reason it's not italicized or put in quote marks or anything like that is your work isn't published. So you're creating it for your classroom, but it's not, official published work. And if it were, then it would get those treatments later if it was like in an academic journal or something like that. But for the sake of high school English class, nah, you're just going to capitalize it and move on. Also, I have in my little side note here, there's real value in an interesting title. You want one that's fresh and original and interesting. For me, it's like the difference between getting like a little scoop of ice cream and getting a scoop of ice cream with a cherry on top. I'm like, oh, it's fancy now. Now it's a Sunday, right? Now it's a party. And that's what a title is for me as the reader of your essays. It's a little wink and a nod that you are into your work. You know what you're doing. You've gone just a little extra, right? You just want to be extra. So you want to come up with a fresh, cool title. You do not want to say something like, English 10 final draft or Hero's Journey research essay. I mean, yawn. Oh my gosh, the worst is it just says final draft. I'm like, really? That's all you got? So that is like a cue to the reader that you don't care. And that might not even be true. It might be true. You might not care. You might just want this thing done. But maybe you really do care and you didn't take the minute to put a really cool title on there. So that's my little spiel on put a title on it. Even on timed handwritten essays like for the SAT or the EAP, ACT, put a title on it. Start your writing. Like skip a space, start your writing, and then give yourself the last minute to go back, and once you've written the essay, put a title on it. Again, to the educated reader, it's the cherry on top of the sundae. It's a lovely thing. All right, and then again, you can hit pause if you want to read all my little advice here, but basically I'm just showing you I want a 1 inch margin on both the left and the right hand side from the justification of your type to the edge of the paper. Also, there's no need for a separate cover page. Old-timey previous MLA editions had you actually like create a separate cover page and you did the title in the middle, but that's just a waste of a tree. So we don't require that anymore, and in fact, it just slows us down. So let's not do that. Let's make it look like the example that I've got here for you. And also, side note, do not put it in a plastic sleeve. I'm just going to do a little public service announcement for the English teachers of the world. We don't like that. You think it looks fancy. that it's like extra level awesomeness. But actually what it does is it's slippery and it slides out of the stack. And then it's like one more layer of something I've got to deal with as I'm grading. And when you're grading papers, it's all about efficiency. You just want to move through the stacks as quickly as possible. So resist the urge to spend the 19 cents at the drugstore on the little plastic sleeve. Please don't. Just save it, just staple that paper, and we're good to go. And then the last note I have here is talking about last week's video. The Works Cited page is actually a separate sheet of paper placed after the last page of your essay, and it's going to have your last name and the page number also. If you haven't seen a Works Cited page, you can, like I said, go back in time. I have last week's video. The link is down in the description bar, and there you go. So this is what page 1 looks like of your essay. If you'd like to have a copy of this, it's printable. I actually have a free download at this link right here. You can print it off as a guide, a reminder for yourself. If you're a teacher, you could post it on a bulletin board or make copies to hand out to your kids. That's awesome. I'm happy it's there. Okay, you guys, 3 weeks talking about MLA is enough. Next week, I will be back on Freestyle Friday with an entirely new English topic. Enough of MLA formatting. I think you got it at this point. And again, I'm always here on Monday with mechanics, usage, and grammar, little mug shots to start the week. And then Wednesdays, we go deep on 3 words for Words on Wednesday. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye, y'all.